What is mentoring? Fellow Toastmaster, mentoring in the context of Toastmaster is budding up with someone else. Maybe you're slightly ahead in the journey than someone else, and working with that person to raise their awareness and make them more responsible, to raise their awareness and responsibility for their actions. It's not about being personally responsible for someone's success or failure. That's not what it's about. So one of the things I hear the most when I talk to someone about mentoring is they say, well, I don't know enough. You don't need to know enough to ask questions. You don't need to know enough to buddy up with someone and make a friend in Toastmaster. And that's all mentoring is about. And in this video, we're just going to take a quick look at 3 steps you can take to work with someone from your initial meeting all the way up to making and helping them improve. The first thing is, once your president or your VP assigns you a mentee, is to book an initial meeting with them. In the initial meeting, your role as a mentor is to find out what your mentee's final goal is. What is their ultimate purpose? And they might say, oh, I want to do this and this and this, and that's fine. We all have more than one goals at times. If that happens, just make them write it all down. Make a list. So if you were my mentee and I was to have this meeting with you, then I would ask you, what do you want from Toastmaster? What do you want out of public speaking? What is the biggest challenge you have? And help you make a list of all the things that's on your mind. And I might probe you by saying, and what else is on your mind? Once you've got it all down, and I will keep a log of this using Evernote or Google Docs, the next step is I will ask you to write down the biggest challenge you're having. Maybe you have a keynote speech coming up in 2 months' time. Maybe it's a business issue. Maybe you're delivering a best man speech. Whatever it is, I'll get to that with you by saying, from 0 to 10, write down what is the most important challenge, what's the least important challenge. And if we both find out that, the meeting in 2 months is the biggest thing, then the next step is, if you were my mentee, I would say, let's focus on this. We'll keep a log of everything, but let's just focus on this. And the second step is to then plan how you're going to achieve that. Maybe you can help them by putting some speeches in place on Easy Speak. Maybe you can help connect them with the right person who already has the answers. Maybe you can ask them, what would you do to improve this? And one of the ways you can do that is just say, on a scale from 0 to 10, where do you think you are right now on your body language? And if they say, oh, I think I'm a 4 or 5, you can just probe them and say, what would it take to get you to a 10? Most of the time, the mentees have the answer. If they don't, that's why you're there, because you can point them in the right direction. Yeah. And once we've done that, the third step is to just provide feedback. You're observing your mentee as they go through the Toastmaster journey, and you might just have feedback, small snippets that they can take and improve, work with, just one bit at a time. And eventually, as quickly as possible, if possible, you want to get them to a stage where you're at. So if you're really good at public speaking, you want your mentee to be really good at public speaking. So soon you can have someone who's right at the same level as you, and both of you together can now hold each other accountable for your speeches and take each other further. So just to recap quickly, in Toastmasters context, mentoring is not about taking personal responsibility for someone's success or failure. It's about asking the right questions to raise awareness and responsibility in your mentee. It's to have a buddy who you're going to help see through the noise, to help them set proper goals. So the first meeting, you're just getting together and finding out what the main challenge is, and then tackling that first. The second meeting maybe you have is about the planning, how you're going to break down that big goal into meetings and months and weeks and days. And the third thing is about providing feedback, which is going to be an ongoing thing. And soon enough, this person will be just as good as you are, which is fantastic, because now you have a friend who can hold you accountable and both of you can progress further in Toastmaster. Public speaking is one of the scariest things we do. And if you're ahead, you can help the other person and solidify everything you've already learned in Toastmaster. I wish you well with your journey, and I'll be seeing you in one of the meetings very soon. Take care, bye.